Okay, so what we're going to do is take our artboard and turn it into a banner. One of my banners is going to be 600 by 600 pixels. So the first thing you probably want to do is save this. So we're going to save as, create a folder for this. And in this folder, give it a file name that has the name, underscore, and then size of the banner. So the name is, for my banner, Timeless Cosplay. It's for a cosplay company. Underscore, you don't want to put a space. Going forward with naming things, for web images, don't put spaces in your names. If you need to use a space, always use an underscore. So this name here is Timeless Cosplay underscore 600 by 600, and saving that. Now, here in my Photoshop file, I have an artboard set for this. I think by default, when you create a new file in Photoshop, it will create an artboard that you can put your layers on. Well, I don't want to use an artboard for this example because I want to use the crop tool, and the artboard is actually already kind of cropped out. So it gets a little funny if you use the crop tool. So what I'll do here is I will ungroup my artboard. So what that does is it gets rid of the artboard, and now it's just a normal set of layers without an artboard. But it'll be easier using the crop tool. So in the toolbar, fifth tool down is what's called the crop tool. It will basically change the size of your canvas in Photoshop. You can hit C to bring that up. C is a keyboard shortcut. And now when I use the crop tool, the corners and the sides here of the canvas have these darker white kind of indicators that you can kind of drag in. So I can drag this in, drag it in here. Now I want to make a very specific size for this banner. So I'm going to hit escape, and that basically reverts back to the size of the canvas before I started using the crop tool. And what I can do in the toolbar on top, this control bar horizontally going on top, is I can specify the pixel height and width. So I'll go into width, W times height, H times resolution. That's what I want to do here. And right here, you see the measurement here is pixels. So that's good. And then I'll type in 600 here. You can hit tab to go into the next field, 600 here. And this last field is the number of dots per image, or pixels per image. So this is going to be a web-based image. So everything you want to do for a web-based image is 72 pixels per inch. And then the last thing I can do now is I can drag this, and it's proportional. And then I'm going to just find a section here. And I think that's good. And then once you're happy with the crop, you just double click. And now that's the new size for this document. So this will be my banner size here at 600 by 600. I already saved this as its own file. So my original mood board should already be saved somewhere else. So you don't want to work on your original, always work on a copy. So now this is 600 by 600, this is good. I'm going to use my type tool here, and I'm going to add some text to this. And we'll call this Timeless Cosplay. Now with my type tool still selected, I'm going to highlight that text, and I'm going to change some elements of the text here to make it more readable. So it's a dark background in Photoshop. So I will go into my color picker. In the control bar for the text, there's a color swatch icon on top, and I will make that color lighter. I'll just make it white, actually, hit OK. And then I will also change the font. Now, the font that I chose with this like blocky type font, so I'm going to find something similar. Really, any sans serif font will do, but I've been using this Bungee font is something that I've been using a lot. Why don't I just use that? So it kind of resembles the font that I originally picked for this. And then I'm just going to increase the size here. So you can increase the size by going into the control bar, hovering over the two T's here, and left dragging. That's a quick way to do it. And then you can reposition by going into your move tool. Now, you're gonna run into a situation where it's hard to see the type over the background. So one of the things I like to do with these types of banners, this could also be a social media post, let's say, is maybe ghost out the background. And what I mean by ghosting out is I create a layer that has a just a shape, and then I lower that opacity of the shape, lower the opacity, have the type on top, and have that shape with the lower opacity underneath. So I'm going to go directly below this timeless cosplay layer, and I'm going to use my shape tool. Click rectangle here for the shape tool. I will keep the shape set to shape. So you have three options in the control bar: shape, path, pixels. I'm going to keep it set to shape. I'm going to select a darker fill. So I'll just select black, actually. Here where it says stroke, I'm going to click on that stroke box and click on the drop down this icon that has the red diagonal slash. So that means there's no stroke. And stroke is the outline. It's the outline of the box. And then in the layer below the text, I'm just going to draw out this box. Now I have this black box. So the idea with the ghosting is you just lower the opacity of this box that's beneath the type. So the image shows through a little bit. Then you have the type on top. So I will go ahead and lower this opacity. And there's all these little tricks you learn. So it's just a type of look here. So now the type is readable. The image is a little, looks like there's some compression quality-wise, not that great, but that's fine. We could do other things too. And there's all sorts of techniques we'll learn, but this is good for now. So I have my image set. Now I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save that image as a PNG file. So there's a number of ways to save things in Photoshop. Here I can go to File. I can go to Save As. And in the dialog box that pops up, just find under Format PNG. And this is the fastest way to do it. You're going to get another little window that pops up. File size, you can just click on the default. That's fine. If you want to see the size of this, and the size isn't going to be huge because the resolution was set to 72, and go to Image, Image Size, and this is 1 megabyte. So that's fine. It's not a huge image.